Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, everyone. I am Joyce Harris, and I am here with HJW Career and Financial Literacy Institute. We are live this evening. And so we're going to be sharing with you some information here concerning home ownership. We are at the end of National Home Ownership Month. So we are going to share some information with you. I am going to, hold on, let me get situated here. So I can make sure you all can see me okay. Okay, all right, great. Okay. Hope everyone is having an amazing evening. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. Looks like we are live and you all can see my slides okay. So I am going to jump right into our content. We have a lot going on. So we have been celebrating Home Ownership Month, giving you content all month. Asia has been coming with her Money Moves Monday. She's doing an amazing job. And for those of you who have not had the opportunity to view any of that content, I would invite you to do so. All of the information is saved here on our HJW Facebook page. And so you can go back and watch the different tips and information, insight that she's given throughout the month. And we are going to continue it with closing out Home Ownership Month. And I thought it would be very conducive for us to jump into looking at what are the joys of home ownership. Now, I know, folks, that there is a lot going on now. A lot of housing prices are rising, and as well as we're looking at interest rates, right? But one of the great things about home ownership as we dive into it is what it can mean for your family and for years to come. So I want to share that information with you. What does that look like, and what could that mean for you and your family? So we're going to talk about some points this evening. At any time, if you all have questions, I'm trying to track both areas. So I am tracking the chat box on Zoom if you have joined us on Zoom. And then I am also, hold on a second. I have a, what does that look like? And what could that mean for you and your family? So we're going to talk about some points this evening. At any time, if you all have questions, I'm trying to track both areas. So I am tracking the chat box on Zoom if you have joined us on Zoom. All right. Okay, I got rid of that echo. I had an echo there, y'all. So I had to end that with the echo that was going on. Okay, I hope I didn't lose anyone here. Okay, I hope I didn't lose anyone there. Okay. All right, here we go. So we are going to jump into our content. Let me get the slides back up. Y'all be patient with me now. I'm going to get the information to you. So we're looking at some of the benefits of that. So we're going to jump into, I'm going to share my screen here so you all can see my screen as well. Okay. Okay, there we go. So y'all should be able to see my screen. Yes. All right. Okay, so the joy of home ownership. All right, so let's look at some of the advantages of home ownership. So one of the first things I want to jump into and looking at the advantages of home ownership is stable housing costs. As I mentioned, with home ownership, of course, you're going into home ownership, you're taking possession of that home, that property is going to be yours. And so it brings some protections against inflation. Many of you have been watching the housing market. And one of the benefits when we're looking at stable housing costs, we want to bring out the fact of you get to control what that's going to look like for you. Once you purchase a home, that's the price of the home, right? So you get the home, you start making those payments. You don't have to worry about those huge increases, which a lot of people are experiencing right now with ceiling rates with renting. So if you are a renter out there, I'm sure you're very aware of this, as well as other people who are following the housing market. And what we're seeing is, because the cost of everything is going up, and so landlords are increasing the prices on renting. And so when you start looking at that facet of it with home ownership, and you're spending that money out every month, you have to have a place to live. So as you're looking at accommodations for your housing options, and maybe it is renting opposed to home ownership. But one of the things with home ownership, and we look at it as an advantage, is the fact that you can control that. What does that mean to you? When you're in a position where you can control, you know exactly how much your mortgage payment is going to be every month. That is a huge benefit, folks. So when you're able to gauge that, it puts you in a better financial position where you can do financial planning in a different realm, because you know exactly how much is expected of you to pay for your mortgage. You know what that's going to look like. Now, if you're renting and those rental rates go up, you have two options. You can either continue to rent from your landlord, sign a new lease, continue to rent, or you have to find other accommodations for housing. But 9 times out of 10, if one landlord is increasing their rates, then you're going to see that across the board. Now, oftentimes you could go to a rental, maybe not in a preferred area that you want to be in at the time. But the point is here, when you're looking at a benefit of home ownership, having that stable housing cost, it is a protection against inflation as well as your financial future. Oftentimes we talk about the tax benefits, looking at mortgage interest and property taxes. Those items tend to be deductible. So that is another advantage for you. When you are renting from someone, they are getting those advantages. You're paying the money every month, but it's not benefiting you in the long run. So you want to kind of continue, look at these areas. When you're looking at setting goals, okay, if home ownership is one of those goals, you want to make sure that you're mindful of these things, because it does make a difference in your future as you're looking at your financial situation. One of the great things about being a homeowner, of course, when you purchase a property, a portion of your money that you pay every month goes towards equity in your home. Well, it goes towards the principal of your home, which builds equity. Let me make sure I have that clear across the board, because everyone needs to understand that. So when you're making your mortgage payment, a portion of it goes to principal, a portion of it goes to interest. And then of course you have escrow, which takes care of your property taxes and your insurance, your homeowner's insurance. So when you're looking at the principal and interest portion, as you're making your payments every month, the portion that's going towards principal, of course, is helping to pay down your home loan. As your property increases in value and as you continue to make those principal payments, you gain equity in your house. And so some look at it as a forced savings. And it can be, because you have to pay your mortgage every month, right? And that's what we do, because that's what we teach. We want to make sure we're mindful of that. We take care of that asset, that is an appreciating asset, and that is building for our futures when you're looking at the whole scheme of home ownership. And thus that equity can be very beneficial for you. So when you're thinking about that equity, as your home increases in value, and as you are paying down that mortgage, that gives you buying power. So let's unpack that a little bit. I'm talking about buying power. When you have that equity, it gives you an opportunity down the road. I have seen people use their equity for various things. Of course, we always recommend, when you're pulling equity out of your home, either you're using it to put back into the home, so you're making renovations that increases the value of your home. And a lot of realtors that I've spoken to, they have said, when you're looking at kitchens and bathrooms, doing upgrades of that nature always helps with increasing the value of your home. So oftentimes people will pull money out to do home improvements. Some of the other things that I have seen use other uses for equity include helping a child go to college. Some people will pull out to pay for their child to go to college, or perhaps they're pulling equity out of their home to make other major purchases. Again, when you're looking at that and you're considering it, make sure you're pulling money out of your asset, which is your home, which is most likely the greatest asset for most people. Make sure you're pulling it out for something that is going to be appreciating, not depreciating. And that is just a rule of thumb when you're looking at building for your financial future. Investment. So as I discussed before, for most people, your house is going to be your greatest investment. When you're looking at that as far as increasing your net worth, when you have a home and you're a homeowner, that increases your net worth. And I'll tell you folks, that's one of the greatest way that most people end up with wealth. When you're talking about generational wealth and passing things down to others in your family. And as we talked about in saving for now, and also a benefit for those down the road, home ownership, right? So you can live in that asset for 20, 30, 40 years, however long it is, have the potential of paying that home off, and then leave that asset to your family. So you start looking at wealth management, and it's an easy way and a great way to do it. Now, we do understand with home ownership, it is a process, but that's why we're here. You have a team of professionals that will help you through the process. I know it can be overwhelming, especially if you have been in renting, right? If something breaks, you call the landlord. When it's time for the yard to be taken care of, the landlord takes care of it. When you're looking at repairs and things of that nature, and it can be very systematic, which can be beneficial. But when you're looking at long term, and of course, like I said, if that's your goal, the joy of home ownership can be so beneficial, because it's not only building for you, but it's building for those in your family down the road. So that's something that we're going to continue to discuss and continue to share with you and help you on that path of home ownership. Now, one of the great things I like to discuss with home ownership as well, when we're looking at the control over your environment. When you choose a home, when you're in a particular area, you have privacy. You get to customize that home. If you want to change your countertops, you can change your countertops. If you want, to change the colors on the wall and the painting, you can do that. If you want different flooring, perhaps you want to put hardwood floors in, different things that are more of a preference for you, you have the ability to do that because it's your home. So you can customize it as you want. One of the great things that I have seen over the years in doing financial education for first-time home buyers is the fact of, with their children, they get to add their own personal touches. And that's always very important when you have children in various stages of their life, and they want something that's just theirs. And they're like, I want this picture up, or I want to paint a mural on the wall, or, perhaps they like bunnies and they want bunnies all over the wall, right? You have the option to do that. If you want to add a deck to your home, you can add a deck to your home. There are so many different things. The sky's the limit, because once you purchase that property, that becomes yours and you can add your signature to it. And who doesn't want to add their signature to something that speaks more to who they are and enjoy in life? And one of the other things I like to bring up with this, especially in the season that we're in now, it is great to be able to come home, especially if you have that work-life balance. A lot of times people are working from their home. So you're normally transitioning from one portion of your house into another portion of your house. But again, it's your home. So you can kind of customize that office to be for work. But then when you step out of the office area and you go into your relaxing room, maybe you have a she shed or you have a man cave, whatever the case may be, it's yours. And you have the ability to create that oasis of your own in your home. And that's one of the great benefits of it. That's part of home ownership. Now let's look at family stability. You know, studies have been shown, not just the fact of financial. So let's kind of put that on the side right now, is looking at the financial aspect of it, which it is a great financial aspect, but just the family structure overall, the family stability of home ownership, having that sense of safety and security, that is very necessary for children when, you know, when they're being raised up. Not saying that you cannot create that in other environments, but studies have been shown that the nurturing fact in the safety that comes with home ownership has shown to be beneficial to kids and families. So that is another aspect of it. And I wanted to bring that up because of the fact that it's not only the financial aspect. Sometimes we're often looking just at the financial and not looking at the whole picture. I would agree. Of course, I do financial education. So finances, that is a big portion of it, but also creating that sense of safety and security and pride in owning your own home, having the privilege to do that and know that that is something, if you choose to do so, that you can pass on for generations to come, and then also create another sense of stability for them. They have the safety of home, right? You know, you have kids, they go off to college, and although they want to get out of the house and go to college, but then they still have a place to come back and call home. So those are some of the benefits of home ownership. And the last thing that I'm going to talk about on this slide is the long-term financial security. And we kind of touched on that a little bit with home ownership. When you have built that equity in your home, or your home appreciates, you have that financial security where if things come up, that you have the option of pulling those funds out of your home. That's why it's always beneficial to make sure you're making wise decisions. When we look at it, there are a lot of companies who are not offering pensions anymore. That's kind of a thing of the past. And if you are with an organization or a company that offers a pension, that is great. Take advantage of it. A lot of companies have matching, but not all. So if they offer a 401k plan to you and there is a matching, you know, look at what that will mean for you as far as that matching portion and growing that investment. But when we look at the side of home ownership, that can be another huge resource for you. So again, financial security, as you're paying into that, again, it's growing. That money is growing. It is something that will be beneficial for you. And even once you get into your retirement years, there are options there as well. I'm not really going to dive into that because, of course, we would have to look at each person's individual situation to see if that's even advantageous for them. And with that being said, I always recommend get an analysis, a personal analysis for yourself. That is important, folks. It's not a one size fits all. So make sure you get a personal analysis completed, looking at your particular financial situation and what will be beneficial for you and your family in the long run. Okay, so now I'm going to go through some of the costs associated with homeownership. Of course, we know the down payment, and there are programs that can assist with that. HJW does have a program. We have it's called an IDA, Individual Development Account, and we do a matching. So if you're going through our program with the first time home buyer program, we will match you 4-to-1. So you would have to set up a savings account. You have 6 months to a year to save money in that savings account. It is your money. It's completely yours. But at the end of that time frame, when you are ready for home ownership, we will match that. So we will match up to $500. So if you save $500 in that account, we will match it 4-to-1. So we would match it with another $2,000, which gives you another $2,500 towards your down payment cost. The great thing about this program is it doesn't eliminate you from getting other down payment assistance. So if you're part of another program and you get down payment assistance from that program, this is stackable. So you can use this money as well as the other to assist you with your down payment cost. For those of you who are interested in that, please reach out to us, hjwfinancial.org, And let us know if you're interested in going through that program. Mortgage insurance is a cost. Now, of course, if you if you have mortgage insurance, you need mortgage insurance, first of all, not if you have it. You need insurance for your house. Okay. So that is going to be a part of your cost. So you want to make sure that you're looking at that as a cost as well. Any of your closing costs, any of the fees associated with closing on your home loan. Moving expenses. This is something that a lot of people don't think about. How are you getting your items from, if you're in a rental, into your new home? That is an added expense that needs to be on your budget for moving costs. It can get pricey, especially if you're moving between states. If you're not doing a local move, if you're not doing it yourself, it can get pricey to hire a moving team. I know a lot of people will say, hey, I'm buying the pizza, who is on deck, right? Meet me at my apartment. We're moving on Saturday and I will feed you when we're done. But of course, you need a team of people for that. And perhaps you all have great friends that'll assist you with that, which is amazing. But that can be an added expense. New appliances. Normally, when you move into a home, a lot of the appliances are not included. So you need to make sure that you're considering that. Lawn equipment and furniture. You do have to make sure you're maintaining your yard. Remember, I said that's one of the things. When you switch from renting to home ownership, tag your it. So you are responsible for making sure that you keep that lawn in tip-top shape. And there's a lot of people who just love doing that. But again, you need the equipment to do so, which will incur a cost. If you do not have a green thumb, I don't, but I'm so thankful that I have a husband that does. You'll have to hire somebody to make sure you take care of your lawn, your landscaping. A lot of the housing developments now do require, they have HOAs in place, homeowner association groups in place. And so that's one of the requirements, like you have to maintain your lawn, and rightly so, folks. This is like I said, this is an asset. This is a great investment. So you want to take care of that. Make sure you're taking care of the inside and the outside for things for years to come, so that your property will appreciate in value. Furniture. I discussed this before in one of our Tap In Tuesdays. Furniture is needed, not something you have to get all at once. Take your time, figure out how you're going to use this space first within a home, and then buy furniture accordingly. Get in there, live a little bit, move around, kind of see how you're going to use each room and what that looks like. And you'll end up being more satisfied when you take time to furnish your home and find the things that you need. Deposits for your utilities, cable, trash removal. Again, you want to make sure that you are setting aside dollars for that. When you go to your utility company, depending on if you've had service with them or not, or where you are with your credit score, will give you a range of what your deposits will be. But those are things that you have to set money aside for. So when you're looking at the costs associated with home ownership, just being prepared. And I bring these things up because that's what we talk about during first-time home ownership classes, making sure that you're prepared. It's a great journey. You just want to be prepared for it. All right, so let's look at some of the steps in the home buying process. So preparing for home ownership, you want to sign up for a home buyer education class, and HJW can take care of that. Of course, we're not the only people that do that, but we would love for you to go through our home buyer class. And attend individual counseling. Now that is a requirement for our class that you go through. We want to make sure that all your questions are answered. There are a team of people, and I'll get to that slide in just a moment. There are a team of people that assist you through your home buying process, and that's a great thing. And we want to make sure that you're understanding every portion of that process. Now, we are consumer advocates at HJW. It's always your choice what lender you use, what realtor you use, what insurance company you go through. But we want to make sure that your questions are answered. Whoever you choose to use, that is definitely at your discretion. But we just want to make sure that they are reputable, and that you understand what you're signing up for, and that you are getting what you have signed up for. That's a key thing, people promising services of one type and then you're receiving them. Those are two different things, and you want to be mindful of that. So you want to determine how much you can afford. And as you go through the program, as important, you may qualify for an amount that is not really advantageous for you to borrow up to that amount, because it depends on each person's lifestyle. Like I said before, this is not a one size fits all, especially with the largest purchase that you're making, possibly making in your life. It's not a one size fits all. So when you're looking at that, you want to consider that, okay, they say I qualify for X amount of dollars, but these are some of the other things I want to do. My children are going to do summer camp, or perhaps you and your family do like to take a family vacation. Maybe you have dollars that assist other family members. Maybe you have an elderly parent that you're responsible for as well. Those are all things that are expenses, but are not necessarily captured on your home loan application. But you need to be mindful of them, because this is part of your lifestyle. And if you have someone else that depends on you, your resources, your finances, to take care of their daily living, that is something that's very important. So you need to make sure when you're looking at your housing payment, you consider all of those things. And the point here is just making sure you're mindful of that and have the conversation. That's key to everything, folks. I know it can appear to be a very long and drawn out process, but there are professionals that are there to help you. So you can get your loan pre-approved. And like I said, you can go through the lender of your, whatever preference you have, whatever lender you have for your preference. Decide what kind of home you want and need. Okay, so this is very key. And for those of you who are on here who have maybe been through the home buying process, you start the home buying process and you have all this list of things that, okay, this would be great in a home. And then you start going to look at different houses, and then that list gets longer and longer and longer. So although there could be things that you want at this time, kind of err on the side of what do you really need at this season of your life. And so you can get into a home, and maybe it is a fixer upper. Those of you who are handy, who can throw that hammer, I mean, that's great. You can fix it up. And that is another way for you to build equity. Get in at a lower price point, because there are some little things that need to be fixed. Of course, always get the inspection done. If there are things structurally wrong, you want to know that. But if you can get into a home and maybe get into a fixer-upper and then build up from that, as you build equity in that, then you can use that money to then purchase something, that you have a greater preference for. But the point is here, start looking at, okay, wants and needs, kind of err on the side of needs, because you can get so captivated now by all the different things that homes are doing. They have some amazing functions and upgrades and things that are available. But ask yourself the question right now, what is more beneficial for me? And of course, if you're the first time home buyer, the benefit is getting into a home, right? And so you can get into a home and build up from there. Shop for a home with a realtor. And then of course, you're gonna make an offer. You wanna get a professional home inspection. That's always key. And that is, I would recommend that to anyone. Get a professional home inspection. And people say, well, if I'm buying a new home, I don't really need to get that. Yes, you do. You should still get a professional home inspection. Again, that is just my opinion. And of course, you always have the option to do what you choose to do, but that is something that we do simply recommend because it can be beneficial. And so many things can be caught when a home inspector comes in. Complete your mortgage loan application. You want to make sure you have the adequate insurance, any other additional inspections that you need, and then you close your home. You get those keys, and now you are the proud homeowner. We just wanted to make sure that we went through that process with you to make sure you understand the different steps that are involved, and they can be broken down, and you have individuals to help you. Thus, that brings us to our slide with our home buying team. And we have a lot of great professionals here. And so when we list here, borrow and co-borrow. So if you're not the only one, so if it's a husband and wife, they would be borrower and co-borrow. It doesn't have to be a husband and wife, though. I have seen individuals purchase homes with their children, and one would be the borrower, and one would be the co-borrower. So it could be business partners. Sometimes people purchase homes as investments. So it can be a various combination of individuals when you're looking at borrower and co-borrow. Housing counselor, which would be your team at HJW, your lender, whoever you choose to work through with your financial institution. Well, let's talk about this with the lender. I always like building relationships. And so it's very key if you have a lender that you have done business with before, kind of start with them. Not saying that you have to do your loan with them, but see what products they're offering. What type of first-time home buyer programs do they have? I was talking to a lender, they actually have an emerging leader, emerging professional loan that they do. And so that is something that could be beneficial. So look at the different programs that various lenders have and see which ones are going to work best for you. But you can start with a institution maybe that you did your car loan through, or maybe that you have your credit card through. But kind of look at that relationship, because if they were able to service you in one area, they may have products that are able to assist you in other areas as well. If you're looking at commercial property, it could be across the board. Your real estate agent, that is a very key person. Your lender is as well. Your real estate agent, make sure that you do kind of seek out who's gonna work well with you, your personality, and also if they understand what you're really looking for. Going through the home buying process, it can, like I showed you all the steps, right? But it's great when you have an amazing team of people to assist you. I have been through the process a couple of times with my property and other properties, and it is amazing the difference a great real estate agent makes, folks. So your closing agent or the closing attorney, a housing inspector, we talked about that, appraiser, because you want to make sure that home is appraised, surveyor, someone's going to come and survey the land, insurance agents, of course, like we said before, you're going to need insurance, and then loan servicer. So your loan servicer could be someone that's different from your lender. And if that's going to be the case, normally they will let you know that, they're the lender, but someone else will end up being the loan servicer. And that means they're going to track your loan throughout the period of time that you have the loan. Now, with that being said, it could be sold to another loan servicer as well. It doesn't necessarily mean that it will stay with that one, but you're always notified. So they always keep you in the know, which is a good thing. And anytime that you have questions like that, like if you get something you're not sure, one of our financial educators or counselors are glad to help you look over your documents and kind of explain it to you so that you're understanding that. That is something that's key too. Any documentation that you receive concerning your home, home loan or anything of that, make sure you're understanding that document and make sure you put it somewhere where it is in safekeeping. You want to track those documents. Keep good records, folks. It makes a difference. All right, so we are at the end of our class here, and I have some resources for you. I always, bankrate.com is a great source. They have various calculators, various financial information across the board. So that is always one of my go-tos, when I try to keep up with current information that's going on. And so I like to offer that to my clients as well, because it's very user-friendly. So you can go to bankrate.com, and that's just an option, as well as Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, CFBP.gov. I'm telling you, if you go there, you're going to see why I always recommend it. It's just very informative. It's beneficial to you as a consumer in general, but definitely being a homeowner and things of that nature has some great resources, great information that can be beneficial for you. So I am going to pause right here, and I'm going to check here to see if there are any questions in the chat room. But why I'm doing that is, well, as we are closing out home buyer education, month, or National Home Buyer Ownership Month, I want to make sure that I add a couple of things in. Okay. So first of all, as we're closing out, we want to invite you to be a part of HJW, First Time Home Buyer Education Class. I mentioned that before. We have some information that we can share with you if you want to reach out and find out more information about that IDA account, so the Individual Development Account. But also, we are going to be doing a HJW Career and Financial Literacy Empowerment webinar. So it is the Ask Your Sister Women's Financial Empowerment conference that we are offering. We're doing. It is going to be on August 12th. I'm excited. So it's going to be on August 12th in Shelbyville at the Conference Center. I am personally inviting you. All right. I want to see you there. We're going to have a style room that's set up for the first 35 people that register. You will get VIP access to the style room, and that includes clothing items, makeup, accessories, and these are all complimentary. So as you come, you'll get early access. You'll get entry into the event an hour prior. You will have someone there to assist you pick out items if you choose to do so. But it's going to be an amazing event. So our whole premise behind it is looking at empowering financially empowering women, inspiring them and equip them. Okay, so it's always great when you go to a conference and you get empowered. How do you get empowered? With additional information. We are going to be focusing on small business development. We're going to have resources there. We are going to have Kathy Pleasant, and she is from Republic Bank, and she is the vice president there over the SBA section there at Republic Bank. We are going to have various individuals come with resources and information. We have a representative as well from Traditional Bank that will be there. So you're going to get some great insight. Various organizations that can assist you on your journey as far as financial empowerment. But also, we are going to inspire you. Let's face it, sometimes it gets hard. You have dreams, you have desires, you have things you want to achieve, but you just don't know what direction to go. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to jump into that as well, right? Because we are helpers one to another. And so we're going to inspire you as well to help you continue on your journey. Maybe you're already in the process. Maybe you're trying to decide, is that something that I want to do? Either way, it's going to be an opportunity for you to be empowered. There are going to be other women there, entrepreneurs there that you can glean from, get your questions answered. And it's always great when you can draw from someone else. And thus, we're going to be talking about Ask Your Sister. So Ask Your Sister, that's very personal to me. And I'm excited about that because I get to share with you the vision, the woman, and the work. And I am talking about Yolanda Bradford, my sister, who made such an impact in Shelbyville. And I'm excited to share that and allow you all to share as well. We're going to have those impact statements. We're going to be talking about the work that was done and how we all benefited from it. And the great thing about that is once we benefit from something, we can go and pass it on to someone else. And that's what we're going to do at this conference. I'm telling you all, I'm excited. I hope you're excited. I want to see you there. It's going to be a catered lunch. So we're going to feed you well. We're going to educate you. We're going to inspire you. And we're going to get you cute too. So we'll have you covered across the board. And y'all, I want y'all to come and spend some time with me. I want to take some selfies with you guys. I have to say, our community in which we serve, and all of you, when I say community, I am including all of you, because you all have been amazing. The support is just amazing. And so I'm very glad to be a part of HJW because this is who we are. This is what we do. And this is what we're going to continue to do. The knowledge that we have, the information that we can share, the tools that we can give you. That's what we're going to continue to do, folks. And so this conference is an opportunity for us to meet you there in person and for us to all enjoy and benefit and draw one from another. Okay, so enough about that, but I had to get that out there because I'm so excited. So I hope you all gain some information from our National Home Ownership Month, but also I want to see you in August. It's August 12th. If you are on our page, the information is there. You do have to go through Eventbrite to register, get your tickets, folks, get them early because we can only let 35 in to the style room. And we are so thankful for all of our sponsors who are making this available to our community. So I hope to see you there. I have checked Facebook. I don't see any questions, but I'll check one more time because I always want to make sure that I'm answering you all's questions while I'm on here. So let me just take a little pause. And if you're on watching and you do have a question, please make sure that you post your question for me. Okay. Okay. All right. I am checking. I don't see anything. Of course, you can always put something in the chat and I will go back later and check the chat to see if there are questions that you have or anything that I can answer. But I do appreciate you taking the time to spend your Tuesday evening. And this is going to, I'm telling you, I'm doubling down. I am doubling down today. So this is going to be your tap in Tuesday as well. So you all, thank you so much. I don't see any questions. So I am going to sign out for now or tap out, however you want to take it. And we will see you next go round. We'll be starting back up in July. Asia will be coming with those Money Moves Monday. And Gil and I will be coming back with your Tap In Tuesdays. And then August 12th, we will see you in Shelbyville at the Conference Center from 11 to 2. Make sure you get your tickets on Eventbrite. And you all have a wonderful Tuesday evening. Thank you all so much. Bye-bye for now.